In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the MagnaGuard for the Vintage Collection, and he is VC18. Now, if Hasbro was to do a poll as to which TBC 1.0 action figure should be repacked, or which one would have the most demand for being repacked, I would argue that this very well could be the #1 action figure. It's something that gets talked about every now and then. I have read many comments of people suggesting that this is the most underrated TBC 1.0 action figure, and I could definitely agree with that. The standards and the technology that's incorporated into this figure, as far as like articulation and just the overall look of it, it holds up really well, and it's very compatible with a lot of the more modern, recent action figures. And quite frankly, if Hasbro was to do a new MagnaGuard, there's really not a whole lot more that they can improve upon this than what was done before. Now, I think they did do a repack as part of like a Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor 3-pack. But of course, that MagnaGuard was specific to that game. But I think it pretty much reutilized a lot of the same tooling and a lot of the same accessories and things like that. I would have to go back and check on that one. And I don't have that action figure. But as far as just a regular Revenge of the Sith MagnaGuard, this one has it all, and you can treat it as like a Battlefront 2 MagnaGuard even, just like how I have this one set up here. There's a lot of accessories and a lot of components about this guy, and of course we'll look at as many as we can. But first, let's just take a closer look at him. So I used to own the MagnaGuard from the Revenge of Sith line back in 2005. I did get it at Walmart at the time, but I do not have that action figure anymore, unfortunately. But I would like to track a few of those ones down at some point. But back in 2019, it was around summer and fall time. Tongori got a whole bunch of these in, and I think they were only like $10.99 each at the time. So I went ahead and loaded up on 4 of them. I never saw this guy at retail back in 2010 and 11 when he was initially released. And I think he did have a few repacks. He was on the foil card, I think, and then of course the standard release. And then there was the one with the mail away offer and some that didn't have it. But pretty much since 2011, he's been relatively absent. So the sculpt itself, I think, is really good. It's a very sturdy action figure. Oftentimes when Hasbro makes figures like this, a lot of the joints are very soft and it feels very fragile. Not the case for this guy. He's pretty much perfect. You can see with his armor here, there's a lot of weathering. In fact, let me just show it a little bit closer on this guy. You see the various components, the inner workings around his armor, things of that nature. You can take this control box, chest piece off. I think this is pretty much where like the brain of the droid is, because of course, as we saw in Revenge of Sith, you can cut the head off and these guys will still keep going. And just plugs in there. Does have the red symbol there. Might be the signal that he's functioning and on. And he does have the red eyes. A lot of weathering on him. I think if Hasbro was to do a new MagnaGuard, they would get very cheap on a lot of the weathering, because it seems to be a trend these days. And it might would just be a light gray color. I appreciate the amount of effort that went into this guy. I think the back here you might be able to take off too. You see some of the components there. You see the legs, which are very versatile. And the feet, which are very heavy duty. terms of his articulation, he does have a ball joint at the head, which has a very nice range of motion. It's a little tight on mine because I don't move it around so much, but you can pretty much get him in most poses. You can look up and down some as well. It's pretty good. He does have hinge at the shoulders and hinged elbows. A little tight on mine. As you can see, the bicep is a lot smaller on this than a normal arm would be. And then he does have swivel forearms. You can see he has the 4 fingers there, which have a very good grip. And even with this blaster in hand, you can hold that pretty good. Can't really get around the trigger though, but that's alright. He does have a joint at the midsection there, not so much at the waist. And that has a very nice range of motion as well. Then he does have it's basically a ball joint at the hips instead. It's not hinged and it's not a barbell. It's kind of barbell though. But either way, it was a very innovative feature at the time, and this is not something we saw on 3 3/4 inch action figures so much back in the day. But I mean, look at the range of motion you can get on this guy. Do a lot of acrobatic moves with that. And then he does have hinged knees, which, as you can see, go way past 90. So he's a very flexible action figure. And he's durable to where you can get him in extreme poses and he'll still stand pretty good. And then hinged ankles as well. Don't think these are on a rocker joint at all. You can see how versatile that is. Yeah, let's just do a quick pose with him. Just to kind of show you what I mean. Pretty much get that totally flat. And something like that. It's pretty neat. So in terms of accessories, as I mentioned, he is very packed with a lot of them. And this guy is easy enough to get on a stand as well. And that is one thing I forgot to mention in the TBC Grievous video, is he does not have any holes at the bottom of his feet where you can accommodate a stand. But he doesn't really need one. He can stand pretty good on his own. But in terms of the accessories, of course, he has the electro staff, which is a very impressive accessory. As you can see here at the ends of the weapon, it's very translucent. You can see the inner workings. It's almost like copper wiring in the inside there. Let's see if it's more prevalent on like this guy, for instance. Yeah, you can kind of see that there. So he has the electro staff, and then he has the purple electricity here, which are separate accessories. Can be kind of tricky to take off, so I won't be taking them off the staff here, but just to kind of give you an idea, they are separate accessories. He has the cape here, which is, when I got all 4 of these from Tungori, the cape was not already on the action figure. I had to put it on itself. But if you got this brand new in the package, I think it was a little bit more in the position it was meant to be in. But as you can see, the cut of it and how it's folded and stitched together, it's very odd, and it can be kind of tricky to get it in its right position. As you can see, like the 3 here, they're all a little bit different, which is kind of nice because it gives some variety to them. But I'm not 100% sure how it's supposed to go on there appropriately. have to look that up. But it is a nice cape regardless. It's a good material. As you can see, it does have some holes in it. Then he does have this wrappings that are meant to go around the head, and you just pop the head through. It can be a little bit tricky. You might have to take something to kind of push it out of the wrappings here. But it is a separate accessory. And just show you how it looks on this guy again. It's very form-fitting. Looks very good. And what else he has. And then, of course, the Grievous Blaster, which is the same exact thing as that's been released with all the other General Grievuses. I have the other threes put away for now, but this one's here. And they're all the same, just cast in black. And it's a very nice accessory for them to include. I don't think we really ever see the MagnaGuards carrying a blaster like that, except for the original Battlefront 2. So that's why I said you can kind of treat this guy as like a Battlefront 2 MagnaGuard as well. And for other accessories, I guess if you count this control box here. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, you can pop the back off as well. Not really need to, but just something extra to show. It does stay in place pretty good. Yeah, huge fans of these guys. I knew back in 2005 when I first saw the action figure of it, I was like, yeah, this is something I definitely have to get. Probably one of the scariest droids that you can encounter in the droid army. I recall in Republic Commando, these guys are really tough to fight. And you kind of see how it's like with him holding it with two hands. And it's pretty easy to do. You can get some nice poses out of it. I think the way I have this cape around this one's probably the best. Looks the best. But I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about the MagnaGuard here. He definitely needs a re-release. It would have been a great opportunity this year with the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, but so far it's not looking like we're going to be getting much. Maybe 2026 we'll be seeing something. I hope that ends up being the case. I would like to get a few more, maybe 2 more. But we'll see. But I'm happy with the 4 I have. Glad to have 4 of these. And like I said, I would like to go back and get a few of the Revenge of the Sith ones as well. That's a pretty good action figure. So would I recommend this guy for your collection? Definitely 100%. In fact, of all the TVC 1.0 action figures, this one would probably be in the top 5 I would recommend most that you would go back and backtrack into getting. I know a lot of people are like, oh, a lot of the TVC 1.0 action figures aren't up to modern standards. This one, I would argue, is definitely up there. There's really not much more they can improve upon. I suppose they could tweak the articulation a little bit, maybe do like rocker ankles, and maybe do a little more articulation in the wrists or something like that. But it'd be small things that, quite frankly, we can live without. For the most part, he's a very versatile action figure, lots of accessories, great paint apps, great weathering. It's a perfect action figure, and it does the MagnaGuard justice. One of my personal favorites from TVC 1.0. And yeah, I'm just glad he's a part of my collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for playing more in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. And check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.